think so far.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Well, thank you for coming to our last meeting of the year. We have other things happening before the end of the year, but this is our last general meeting. So thanks for coming. I appreciate you all here and online. Yes, she's already got it recorded.
I did that.
What we're gonna do this morning is, we're just gonna do a quick little bit of business, and then we're gonna hand over to our guests, because to accommodate their schedules, they'd like to go in the first half of the meeting. So we'll have the presentation about the course registration for next year first, and then we'll get into all the other upcoming activities and what's going on around the school. So first, I am Kelly Voyages, and I'm the president of the Family Association, and my son is a junior this year.
Janice, vice president. I have a son who's a sophomore and a seventh grader. Here. I'm Jill Jordan-Spitz, secretary. I have a senior and fifth grade.
Zach, volunteer coordinator. I have a freshman.
And Margaret, our treasurer, could not be here today. In fact, she is doing long-term subbing, so she could be teaching your children at that very moment. She also has a
10th and 7th grade.
10th and 7th, thank you. So first what I'd like to do is just run through our little bit of business of approving our minutes from last month. There was a link to them in the email that went out to everybody as a reminder of this meeting. They should be is there a link in the chat? There's a link in the chat. And I'd like to get a motion to approve our March meeting minutes, please. Sally, thank you. Hi, Alice, come on in. And so you second, Marcella, thank you very much. All right, all in favor of approving the minutes from March?
No one's denying.
Okay, any opposed? All right, thank you. Meeting minutes are passed. The only other piece of business that I wanted to get to is the budget report, which we don't have our treasurer this morning. So the only information that I will give you at the moment is that Margaret is going to be working on her end of year report, and then we'll be working on the budget for next year, which we will share with folks either over the summer, but certainly by August. I think we usually get it to admin by July, I would say. So that will be coming up. So she's working in the background. Are there any questions about the budget at all before we move on? All right. Well, then what I'd like to do, I don't know which one of you is going first, but we're going to go ahead and hand it off. We have our head of school, James Foreman, our upper school division head, Allison Jacobs, and our middle school division head, Beth Kane. And they're going to be talking about course registration, and then we'll get on to the rest of our stuff that's going on. So I'm going to hand it off to you guys and let whoever's going to start, go for it.
Okay, I'm going to start and just say that we are really excited about this coming school year's curriculum guide. You should have received a link for that you can preview on Monday that came out. And the students will get a paper copy in hand at the different meetings that we're going to be having over the next 2 weeks that you can look back carefully with them. As far as middle school goes, our curriculum guide, I'm really excited to say we have a couple of kind of important changes. In 5th grade, we're introducing a new course called Introduction to World Languages, which is going to rotate through 3 languages in trimester segments, so that our 5th graders will get kind of like a little taste of the different languages, so that going forward, they can decide, I really like this one, I really like that one. Just a very experiential year with the 5th graders, so that they can find that fun and space and that learning space at the same time. Language they'd like to pursue. So that's one big change we're doing. Another is we're moving chess from 0 hour to the school day, make it a more substantive academic offering with more time. And the 0 hours only an hour in the regular class day, that's a 75-minute class. So that will just be something more extended time than our regular like this. And then another big change that's coming around is our 6th graders have always taken a class called 6th grade literacy skills that lasts for 1 entire year, 2 semesters. We're backing that down to just a 1 semester course, so we can focus intentionally more on organizational skills, tech skills, how to utilize Google Classroom, next slide presentations, Power School, all of those things that are really important at the beginning of the year for our sixth graders. And then opening up that second semester so they can have an additional elective. So our sixth graders will have basically three semesters of elective. This is that they can choose from instead of currently the just 2 semesters or 1 year long elective choice. So those are kind of exciting changes coming along with the middle school, differences in the curriculum guide for this year. Another big change that we're doing is for our rising ninth graders, or our current eighth graders, those who are continuing with us at TGS. We're gonna have a special informational meeting for them, actually tomorrow, where they will get a curriculum guide, but not their course request form yet, because as they make that big important step up to upper school, there's a lot of pieces of information that can be a little bit confusing, and there's so many more choices and different tracks they might want to follow. So Allison, thankfully, is gonna be there as the upper school division head, so we can kind of pass the baton a little bit. She can answer questions. We're just going to introduce them to all of the choices and courses that are available to them as upper schoolers. So that's kind of a new change too, just to have that informational meeting with our eighth graders, and then they'll have their course request meeting the following week. So lots of exciting things happening in the middle school. I'm always available for questions if you want to email me or set up a meeting and we can look at curriculum guide options. Yeah, yes, Richard.
Just, 2 quick questions.
That,
Chess, does that mean that there will not be a 0-hour chess?
correct.
Okay, so it'll be a.
It'll be here in
class. Will that be unified with the upper school chess or just upper school?
Upper school chess doesn't have, we don't have a class. Our chess is a chess club and then an AIA sport. So they can join as an AIA chess actual sport or club.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, chess is one of those things, I mean, there are 12-year-old grandmasters and there are 18-year-olds that have never played before.
Correct.
And we've noticed like in the AE, or in the Friday, explorations, a lot of times there's chess in both. And I always thought those two maybe be unified because there's kids. Age doesn't seem to correlate necessarily with
With
ability.
AIA, because you can't have middle schoolers participating with us.
Well,
Is that what it is?
For explorations, we have a junior who's actually a chess master, works with a chess master, and so he runs that upper school
Okay,
exploration, and sometimes will come in and help with the middle school exploration. So, and then the middle school exploration often is run by other faculty. So,
okay.
So I don't want to get in the way because Allison has tons to present. We can probably handle more questions afterwards.
Okay.
But what you're hearing is an intentional through line, right? You're hearing a through line that's starting in the middle school that then builds into an athletic programming actually into the high school. So instead of creating this exposure, we're creating intentional time where these students get instruction for 75 minutes throughout the year. So hopefully growing that skill set, creating less of a differential gap for those students who are really excited. I did something very similar with debate in a high school program. And that through line is phenomenal. It's about building student interest, but also to your point, skill.
Okay. The other is, isn't there a change to the advanced pre-algebra and what that's gonna cover, you know?
Right, that's kind of steering into the high school math.
okay. We're also very excited in high school, and one of the things that we've changed is this system of how we get this to students. And that's exciting for us because typically in the past, if we have returning students, they would go to one meeting, Ms. Martin would talk to them about the course request. It's so much information all at once. We even created shortcut guides. We thought, we really need this intentional time for students to hold that curriculum guide and actually learn how to read it. And then we've also done into the curriculum guide and tried to simplify things. So for upper school, you'll see course progression pages that actually go through what are the required courses for 9th grade, 10th grade, and then those choices. I like them. These
Me too. Where's it coming from?
Sorry.
Providing some atmosphere.
So we have those course progression pages, but it's also simpler for students to go through and say, what do I need in 9th grade? What do I need in 10th grade? And then we open up those choices as they get older. 11th and 12th grade have a lot more choices, especially in that science and social science area. We're going to be walking through that guide, talking some of the changes. If you're on my upper school newsletter, you notice there was about three bigger changes that I covered. One was in athletics. with you and Angela in the athletic department to really think about how we honor those student athletes and the time they put in. So Angela did a lot of research into other different schools, and we are now gonna honor those student athletes by offering them a huge credit for the work they do in their sports. They don't have to, they can still take PE if they want to take PE. We have PE offerings they can take as electives. But if they're a 3-sport or a 3-season athlete before the end of their junior year and they have 90% participation, they can earn their PE credit that way. And we're honoring that for students who are already in that situation now. If we did it by the end of junior year, because in case they don't, then they need to take PE their senior year, which is fine. Another bigger change is that we are offering a program called Global Online Academy, and I'm gonna wait with that because James is gonna cover that a little bit more for me, because he has a lot of experience in Global Online. We're very excited. We just named a site director who's gonna help me launch this program. It's a limited program for the first year, so if you go online to Global Online Academy, you'll see a vast amount of all of these amazing classes. We worked with our departments to say, what should we offer now? So that was not a decision I made in my little office. It was a decision made with all of the departments, like what are these opportunities we can offer to students where classes sometimes we can't offer them because we don't get enough students to offer them. Personal finance is a great example.
I
of
saw
that.
geometry, we were taking geometry over the summer, so I was like.
Well, so that's a summer course. So the one thing about GOA, and I'm sure James, I'm gonna walk all over his presentation, but is they don't want to offer courses that step on our toes.
Right.
So that's a summer, so that for next summer, 2027, we'll be able to offer it through GOA, and actually a condensed 7-week
Wow.
geometry course, which taught by amazing instructors. So we're very excited about that because we've heard, BYU courses.
Yeah.
So, the other change is in our science department. There were 2 changes actually. The science department, we've been working for years of really thinking about what do those students need when they come out of TGS as scientists, as going into the world. And the state, Arizona State got rid of the chemistry requirement years ago, but we know it's very important for all of our students who are going in STEM fields to have chemistry, but also have that exposure to physics. And we wanted to start giving our students a choice. So that sophomore year, which used to be a requirement that everyone takes chemistry, is now a physical science course, and they can choose between physics and chemistry, but they can also take those anywhere between their 10th and 12th grade year. So if they want to take physics in 10th grade and chemistry in 11th grade, they're welcome to do that. And that opens up possibilities then for other science courses. We also looked at that sustainability of our physics program and moved our intro to physics class, which typically is just conceptual physics without much math background, to an algebra-based physics class, which then as students move through our math program, they can move from physics over to physics, AP Physics C, which is a calculus-based physics class. So we're really excited about those changes in the science department. Really helped me out with those. I think there's anything else. Oh, the math, thank you. I'll go back to the math. One of the things that we know a lot of our students want to get to that calculus class by senior year. And when students come in at Algebra 1, 9th grade, which is a typical entry point for some 9th grade. They go from Algebra 1 to geometry to Algebra 2 to pre-calc. And they get that calculus exposure in pre-calc, which is what colleges want to see, but they don't necessarily have gotten to the AP class. So that goes back to the summer geometry, right? It's a course that seems to be successful every summer. It jumps students ahead. So what we've been doing is working with the math department all the way back to middle school and thinking, okay, let's review what's happening in the 5th grade, what's happening in 6th grade. What adjustment can we make so those students who are ready can jump into geometry their freshman year instead? And when we talked to Ms. Lesniak, who teaches our pre-algebra course, we said, or our advanced pre-algebra, excuse me, said, how much of algebra are you teaching? She said 95%. I said, well, then wait a second. Can't those students just jump to geometry? She said, well, if I teach them one whole concept, yeah. So we've worked it out. So this kind of, and this is this year, right? We're going to continue to work, so it's more of a natural progression. But this year we worked it out. So for next year, Ms. Lesniak is going to be teaching a course called Advanced Pre-Algebra and Algebra Topics. That's going to cover all of Algebra 1, but in a middle school setting. So students will not receive a credit for that as a high school credit, but they will be able to go from 8th grade, Algebra Topics, Advanced Pre-Algebra, to Geometry 9th grade if they pass the final at a certain percent. So it's starting to help those students who want to make that progression.
And I want to jump in, we can handle questions in a moment, I just want to make sure, because Allison has to leave. One, so I piggyback off that, but also speak to GOA. This is beyond exciting. Okay, and one of the things that I really want to clarify is that, one, I appreciate the patience that y'all have given new leadership with regards to looking at our program and the enhancements and what could be changed, what could be elevated, what could be enhanced again, once again. One of the things that we inherited, y'all, was a mass scope and sequence where, if I'm gonna be fully transparent with you, 19 years of independent schools, 5 different cities and states, doesn't align with anyone else. If we're a college preparatory school and a student has been with us in 5th and 6th grade, they should be going into geometry at 9th grade. They should be going to either advanced geo or one level geo. Unless you're a James Foreman and you needed a little remediation, then there should be an algebra 1. And to be honest and transparent, then there should be an algebra 1 track. And then those should be intentional conversations with your advisors and parents as you think about your course trajectory. And for Allison talked about the intentionality of these meetings and clarifying what happens in what year and why, right? We're a college preparatory school. Our ceiling should be capped, with multivariable being an option, hence GOA. So Global Online Academy, I met 8 years ago. I met Global Online Academy, Kelsey Hall, their director in particular, because we were looking for ways at a previous school to expand our course offerings, but we had limited staff. Right? You cannot put a faculty member in front of no more than at that school 6, but for us, 10 students. So unless a class enrolled with over 10 students, we can't staff it. Some of the things that also happened in the school community that were very unique is that teachers, because they wanted to meet students' passion purpose programming, had all of these one-off independent studies. You can have a teacher who has a 5/5 section, but yet they're teaching 4 other sections because they're offering an independent study in all these subjects in order to meet students' individual passions. So I'm sitting there hearing all this, seeing registration day, hearing all this as they're developing courses, and I'm like, yo, we have a golden goose that we haven't touched. And that's GOA. Global Online Academy is independent school educators across the globe working with independent school students across the globe around topics and courses that aren't staffed in independent schools. So these are the classes: multivariable calculus, financial problem, medical problem solving, financial analysis, legal, all the different ones you have in there, right? These are these one-offs that either are passion purpose courses that you can't staff, might have been staffed in the past, but haven't gained a bunch of interest for your kiddos, or are the one-offs like a multivariable calculus where you might have one student over 5 years who takes that class and they exhausted your math program. So that's why we're bringing in GOA, is one, to clarify some of those independent studies and still create passion purpose programming. The other part is to offer some staffing that offers some courses that we could not staff in the past. The other one is a litmus test to see, wait, could this class make for us? So you'll see as we develop this program in the future, a couple of classes where we're dipping our toe in to see if this is something of interest for our students that we can run it. So this is a great opportunity. As you heard from Allison, we're piloting this in the first year, so we have limited seats available for our students. Also, as you heard from Candace down there, about the geometry offering as well. We don't want to penalize our students for the scope and sequence that they inherited in math. So we're holding some of those seats, right, for geometry for 2027 and say, you know what, for those kiddos who need that trajectory and are ready, here's GOA, 7 weeks. We feel more confident in this than we feel about BYU.
Are the classes, is it a live teacher or do they watch recording?
You go live and asynchronous. It's majority asynchronous classes, and thank you, Joe. I'm gonna talk, I should have skipped over some of the specificity around the who behind it. We're offering it for our 11th graders and 12th grade students. We want to ensure success for our kiddos. The executive functioning component is high, right? Most of these classes are asynchronous. You do have some synchronous classes, and the anecdote I always share is that when we were in our 2nd year, I was a high school principal walking past, in the hallways, and a student said, Foreman, somebody just keeps typing your name in the chat. And so I came over and it was one of my former middle school students in Denver, Colorado, taking a class with my Atlanta kid, right? During a synchronous moment, but most of that work is during async. So you will have your student, will have GOA scheduled in a block. And that is a time for them to get their work done, check in with our site director. It may not be the time that the class operates. The class could operate outside of the school day. Hence, our juniors and seniors having the ability to do this. Hence, our site director, and we'll name who that is shortly, just has to sign the contract, but we're excited about that as well. Our site director is a spot check, checking in weekly and intermittently on our students to see how they're doing. GOA is very responsive. They have a student support system where they're emailing site directors. I unfortunately had a senior in multivariable calculus, had some life things happen. We weren't alerted due to us being on campus. We were actually alerted through the GOA teacher who said, hey, Ryan's falling apart. You guys should be checking him. Okay, so there is a very communicative relationship from the site director to those teachers as well. So I'm sure there's more questions. There's an application process. Allison put that out there as well. The GOA decisions as far as who takes those classes is not in a vacuum. Allison, GOA site director, registrar, and academic facilitator will review the application for the students, making sure that we're setting them up for success. And then in the future, we'll see if we can expand offerings and seats.
How does that work logistically? Do you take, for example, the geometry one, are you taking that in parallel with algebra one? Or
Geometry is gonna be in the summer.
Geometry's only
Oh, it's only in the summer.
Yeah.
Because they don't offer courses that you teach.
Okay,
Geometry is taught all throughout
so it's a 7-week block in the
in
summer,
the summer.
and you take it and then you skip geometry, go right into
Yeah.
three. Okay.
We would go to algebra 2 or algebra 2 trade.
Or I have algebra three, you're right.
My son did that this last summer, but this program sounds amazing.
Oh, yeah.
BYU was, well, they got to do videos, all the things, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I've got two questions. One is, so is the site director a TGS employee? It's not somebody else, right? Okay. And the other question is for Allison, in that was, we had somebody message us about the curriculum guide. And they said it would be nice to see the instructors' names with the classes. And they understand that that's not always set, but they also.
Yeah, it's not set, it's not possible, because what happens is, we have to see the need first. So for example, AP chemistry is good, maybe not a great example, but I have to see, do I have 15 kids for AP chemistry or 30? If I have 30 kids, that could be different. If I have 15 kids, it could be one teacher, you know, every class.
That's the
Yeah.
strategic piece, and the employment piece is contracts don't think that for another week. We can't announce, if a contract's not in, I can't put a PT.
Got it. Okay, it's a matter of.
If I know for sure that somebody's teaching, because they, you know, Ms. Reyes is teaching Cal BCI. Right, so there's things like that I know, but there's sometimes teachers who in August we're talking about them teaching. And that's just the nature of TGF. I have to put all the teachers.
And the kids in under, what are they called, middle school, if they take the pre-algebra and then they go directly into geometry, do they never get an algebra one?
They have to take
for high
that.
school?
They have to take that algebra, the advanced pre-algebra topics class. Yeah, they wouldn't get they would still need 4 years of math in high school, but their credits will start at geometry.
Okay, so they don't, so they'll just never have algebra one on their
Not
high school. That's all I want. I don't know how all that stuff.
Thank you, Allison.
Thanks, Allison. Thank you, Beth. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You know, I know something about the replacement for Miss Kimberly, that my kid is more or less not had any advisor all year. I mean, we had Miss Kimberly for the first semester, you guys were good. And then Miss Cohen has been filling in, but I know the idea is to have this person that's there for 3 years and they're gonna be, and their advisors stay with them for 3 years, isn't that correct? And they form these relationships and it's all the rest of it. And so, do we know if there's a person coming in to fill that role that you did or not? Okay, or is it gonna be someone who's already on campus? Okay, because a brand new person we found first year doesn't know what the advisory program is about, and so just wondering, I want my kid to have that experience that my other kid is having with an advisor who knows what advisory is about and has that foundation.
I think it was a very unique situation that we had this year.
Okay.
in Great Cities, that hopefully we
Okay.
never have again,
Okay.
in the history of my tenure here. And yes, we have posted, you'll see it even on the website, we might have pulled it down because we have hired.
Okay.
And once again, we cannot announce all
Right.
those different hires because they are obligated to their current contracts
Right.
at their schools. But I interviewed the gentleman, did a great job, that's exciting.
Will that person have a mentor or something to kind of help them understand what the advisory program is about? That, I mean, okay, that's more my concern.
And one of the bits, that I'll share, and it's probably not for this meeting, because it's more personal.
Yeah.
What I will share is that, Best first year of life.
Right.
You know, some of the expectations that we walked in with, you know, we had to gradually work with our teachers, right? So we're coming into a year where we set the bar.
Yeah.
I just want to say that as clearly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I thank you for your patience and support. I meant that as I started this dialogue, no point of pain. You know, for Beth, and Allison's only in year 3 in her position as well. Y'all gave us a lot of patience and I appreciate it. And hopefully you see the exuding of excellence as we move forward in intentionality, the structure without rigidity, and us building on the foundation that we have all inherited. We're being so intentional about it.
I just want to make sure, I know that we've been throwing questions out, so I want to see if anybody online has questions that we haven't.
There's nothing in the chat.
Nothing.
Can I ask one more, Google? You mentioned science, finance, stuff like that. What about language? Is
No world language, because we want to support what we have on campus currently, you know, I could take you into the thoughts that I have as far as exposure components. Graduation requirements are the biggest thing, right? If you offer something on campus, that is where your graduation requirements lie, you can't augment that. Right, so that's where they don't offer many of your world language classes unless they are your one-offs that you're not going to teach, but they don't fit for graduation requirements. They're only for exposure.
what about kids who exceed the graduation requirements, who are more advanced in a particular language, and there's only a couple?
That would be that exposure piece. We can evaluate that. You definitely can.
So then I have a question then. So then in talking about taking geometry or another class over the summer, but you're talking about the Global Online Academy.
Correct.
Is that registration and fee covered by tuition from Gregory, or is this an out of pocket?
Good question.
Because they're not cover that?
Thank you. I need to do that in material.
Right, because that's,
Seriously.
right, and then if that site coordinator is going to be available during the summer or not?
Yes, during those 7 weeks, 100%.
Okay, because there are other global academies like ASU Global Academy that offers same classes that are synchronous and asynchronous. So I'm just wondering what the incentive is.
See, I would sell GOA more than any other program, because it's our folks, it's independent school people.
Okay.
Working with our demographic of students that they're used to working with, you know, definitely a different school community, don't get me wrong.
Right,
But not one of our kids trying to fit into a system that fits out. Without any additional fees.
okay.
We absorb it.
How do you think that this will set our children apart from, say, other local consumers?
Is a differentiator like nobody's business, right? We talk about passion purpose programming. Now your transcript can literally exemplify that. Not just with what's offered on campus, but the fact that you took this challenging, high-powered course that requires a lot of executive functioning, asynchronous time, and it's taught at a high level and you achieve. Right, so I think one, it helps to create the passion purpose transfer. 2, there is a level of anger work. So there is a level of rigor that is not that of our own, like an AP course, that is not that of our own as far as the pace, the weight of what takes place. And then the high level achievement means that a student can not only do it at 32, 31 with a grade level, they can do it anywhere. So I think it shows achievement.
We have some online questions, so we wanted to give them a chance. But they won't be-
Taking up so much time, Tom.
You'll have to unmute.
Hey, Kyle.
There we go.
Hello. I just wanted to quickly, I really appreciate listening and being part of this. And James, you're absolutely dead on. I think Gregory School has the opportunity to be one of the first high schools to really embrace the future of how we develop our kids. What you're talking about is developing our kids to be ready for the workplace at a high level, 6-figure workplace at 18, because that's where this technology system is going. And once you're doing that, then of course they're ready for any college. But the colleges are trying to adapt right now because they're already falling behind, right? And so you guys, many of you know the work that I do, and so I think Gregory does have the opportunity to really rethink the belief system that our kids can do that. And that's what I love about you guys. You guys believe in these students that they actually can do it. If you put it in front of them and say, this is what's going to happen, you guys are the team that can make that happen. And so I'm really proud to be part of that. And I think one of the ways that you guys can look at is reaching into as far as capacity, because James, you talked about it's staffing. It's all about staffing and time, right? The two biggest resources for a school. Just partnering with outside resources to come to Gregory School to develop that culture of human development at a much earlier age. If they're not ready by 18, guys, I'm gonna be real clear. I work with a lot of colleges. If the students aren't really ready by 18, they're behind. And that's the reality of today's work. But I love you guys. I'm here to help.
Thank you. James, also.
Hi, everyone. Thanks. I just have a quick question for the board members, including James. Do you guys have a timeline to build the next 5-year strategic plan for the school?
Hey, James, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Great question. So if you recall, ISAS just came through in October and did our accreditation. We just got our letter back from Scott Briggs, the executive director, that we have been reaccredited for the next 10 years.
Okay.
Also, the information that we received from them involved recommendations and commendations. So we're sitting with the visiting team report right now. DC and I as board chair. I'm going to distill that information to our leadership team, who will then work with our academic facilitators. So all of that to say, strategic plan is in the works. It is our hope that we can have the framework for our strategic plan presented next fall with a firm strategic plan for 27-28.
And will that include financial targets for endowment, scholarship fund, and other big buckets that the parents can understand?
100%. And James, if you want to start that endowment conversation tomorrow, I left the Bank of America event last night and I am on fire. Yes, it will involve that. Right now, currently, I have more members of the finance committee than I have chairs available, like physical seats. So we are working extremely hard to fortify our future. Yeah.
Well said. Thank you.
You got it.
Any other questions here? I'm gonna wait till, did you get the folks that were in the waiting room? A quick back on participants, I think. Do we have anyone in the waiting room? I just don't want to. Okay.
I don't have no brains.
I'm not a Zoom master. If anybody is a Zoomy person.
No, we're good. We're right.
Okay, we're good. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes,
So
yes.
there's no way we can do this geometry this summer, 7 weeks?
This summer,
Yeah, no.
So sorry.
I just want to add, having 2 kids back-to-back seniors, this program, I think, will be a complete game changer.
Yeah.
Because what colleges want to see is depth in an area of interest. And so my daughter, who's at St. Andrews right now, ended up doing independent AP psychology because that was what her interest was, and we didn't offer anything here for that. So I think this is going to be really very, very cool and really a step up for all of our kids when they go to apply for college.
You hate to come into a school community and take something that happens somewhere else and say this will work here, but y'all, I'm telling you, from the needs that I have felt in this school community, thank you for your support and everyone who's intrigued and interested. I think not only is this a differentiator, this is going to be a catalyst to learning for our school community that is going to be phenomenal.
And even at the middle school level, like Miss Lesniak is amazing. If you just go talk to her, she will sit down with you, figure it all out. Like Ryder's in math a grade ahead, but we had to figure out what he was kind of missing, if you will. And she gave me all that information so we could study it in the summer, and now he's doing great. He's fine. So,
She's amazing, yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sorry for taking so much time.
No problem. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and move on then. Obviously, if anybody has questions about any of that, they can feel free to email Allison or Beth or you, James, I assume.
Oh, very much so.
I mean, as far as if they have specific questions about the GOA, right, okay, great. And of course, if anybody ever has questions, feel free to email the FA and we will get that to the right person. So what I'd like to do is run through some upcoming events. I just want to revisit our parent experience night briefly. We had a great event. It was a wonderful collaboration between Beth and Allison, our upper school and middle school division heads, the FA. We had a 3-person faculty committee that also worked with this, and it was all funded by monies from the EE Ford Foundation grant that TGS received a few years back. This particular event, and it was for expanding the exploration program at TGS. So this event was a little bit grander, but we had food that was catered by Opa's Best. I just want to give shout outs to the folks who are here. Opa's Best did the dinner. We had Bella's Gelato here, and we had a coffee cart from Espresso Self Tucson, and they were all fabulous. We had 10 different faculty members who created classes, and we had 15 different courses across the 2 sessions that we offered. We had some cancellations, some no-shows, some folks who didn't sign in, but give or take, we had about 60 parents and staff who participated. So it was a really great event, and we do look forward to being able to do that again in the fall. Probably on a smaller scale, similar to last fall, but we do look forward to being able to offer something again next year. So I want to thank everybody who participated at TGS and the parents as well, because I think it was a great event. So moving on to upcoming events. We've got a few things coming up. One is next Thursday, the 16th, we are having a parent happy hour at the shelter on Grant Road, and that's at 6 p.m. That will be buy your own drink, but the FA will provide some snacks for you guys to enjoy while you're drinking responsibly. And then the following week, on Wednesday, the 22nd, we are doing our annual volunteer appreciation coffee. That will be out on the front lawn, same time as this morning. So it'll be, but it will start at about 8:15 for folks who need to just drop by and get out of there a little bit earlier. So 8:15 on April 22nd, we'll have our volunteer appreciation coffee out on the front lawn. And that's so that we can have a little bit more social time without the FA business involved there. And that's obviously to thank everybody, because we can't do what we do without you. So if you are interested in getting more involved next year, just come up and grab one of us. Feel free to email any of us.
We're going into grade level.
In just one second, I wanted to give, we're gonna go into grade level activities right after the spring family dinner, but I'm gonna start with Lori, because Lori is our committee coordinator, and she is also a grade level rep.
Spring family dinner is coming up on May 7th at 5 p.m. It's an exciting event. It's a 1-hour dinner, but there are lots of things happening on campus. The jazz bands play, that's been confirmed. The location will be on the lawn right here. That's also been confirmed. Noelle is excited about the picnic theme. We're still compiling all of the things that will be happening and displayed on campus, because that changes from year to year. And then afterwards, after the 1-hour dinner, is the dance showcase in the theater from 6 to 7, or however long it takes actually.
Usually longer, I think.
Yes. We had dancers. What was I gonna say? We're gonna need some help. We'll need volunteer help to set up and clean up, and also this year to help serve food. That is a somewhat new request.
Okay.
So there will be a sign up genius for mobile at some point. I will get on that. Invitations will come out soon. Noelle is really looking to have everyone RSVP this year. We've been a little bit wishy-washy on forcing people to RSVP over the last couple years, and just sort of accommodating extras. But Noelle would really like us to stick to a number.
And you will be getting an invitation
Yes.
to which you can RSVP. So it's
Yeah.
very important that you do RSVP.
And there will be, I think, a 2-week window, as long as we get it out this week, there'll be a 2-week window to decide and RSVP.
And that will be from Greenvelope. So it will not come from the FA specifically. It will be a Greenvelope invitation. It'll look a little bit different. So keep your eyes peeled for that because that should be coming out, as you say, hopefully by the end of this week, maybe beginning of next week at the latest, I would hope.
So the meal is provided, is it by FA?
The FA
By the
pays
FA.
for the meals, so that's why it's important to get the RSVP so we don't over participate, but also you want to show up and still have food. We've had times in the past where we did not have a good RSVP number and we were running out of food, so.
And I think that's what worries her the most.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I think last year, we were running out of food. The great thing was it was pasta and she was able to actually run into the kitchen and make more pasta because they were running out. But that's not always possible, obviously, so. It's very important to get the numbers. Okay, great. So, May 7th, that is May 7th at 5 PM out here on the lawn in front of the gym. And Lori, would you like to go ahead and talk about anything that's happening in 5th grade as we're moving into the grade level?
5th grade seems to be doing well. We have our park play date right around the last, I think it was right after the last Zoom meeting. Half the class showed up, parents were really excited, it was really fun. And there has been interest in doing one more, but I'm not really sure what will happen. As other people have mentioned they'd like to plan that, and I really love for them.
All right, so if you have a 5th grader here or online, or you know somebody who has a 5th grader, encourage them to touch base with Lori if they are interested in organizing an end of year gathering. Okay, thank you. Sarah. Yep. Do you have, I didn't know if you had something to say, Tanis, before we.
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go for 6th, Andy.
Okay, so for 6th grade, I think that we have lots of different here, when we have something on Sunday, May 3rd. Most likely it will be a food party, not really 100% sure at time or whatnot, but I think a lot of us have decided that May 3rd works. Then, as for 8th grade, we will be having our party on the 21st, right after school. Everybody will be heading over to Funtastics. And that'll go until about 7 o'clock. You know, if you food and bunch of fun and bunch of young kids trying to drive cars.
And that's May 21st.
Thursday, May 21st.
Okay. All right, so that was 6th grade, May 3rd, 8th grade, May 21st, correct? Great, thank you. Do we have other, Angela? Do you want to talk about?
No, go ahead. Right, oh, you're the 12th, yeah. So, the 11th grade, we're gonna have a Ben's Bells project, volunteering option this Friday, immediately following, the early release. It's gonna be in the dining hall. The parents are very generous and have offered to help. If anybody has any ideas on specs, let me know. I'll make it fun for them. I am hoping that we get a good turnout because it's not a mandatory, it is optional. Please encourage your children to join us. It's for the juniors only. And if we can ask the administration, I don't know if you guys do announcements. We would love you giving us a shout out. And
Our director of communications is sitting 4 chairs down.
Hi.
Yeah, it's been in the newsletter, it's been in the parent forum, there's been emails from, I think you.
From me? Yes, you do like.
Could ask Joyce, she does a morning bulletin to students, we'll ask Joyce.
That would be fantastic, especially on Friday, just to remind them.
Okay.
Yes,
Do you want me to bring some cheese?
that, I was thinking about that cheese, because it's pineapple this
Yeah,
time.
it's
And
watermelon.
keep your receipt.
It's watermelon.
It was watermelon, yeah. Oh, I thought it was pineapple drink. Oh, well, whatever it is. That would be great. It also But anyway, we're going to, during that project, we're going to, make kindness coins. So I don't know if any of you have received a kindness coin or seen them lying around. But it's a way to pass kindness forward. So we're hoping that they enjoy the actual activity itself, but that they get something out of it. And They can even get volunteer hours because it is a volunteer project, so. Please encourage them to join us
Okay, so that's 11th grade, and that is this Friday,
this Friday.
right after early release. And you should be done about the same time as regular release time. So for folks who have after-school activities, is that correct, Angela?
That is
Should be
correct,
about an hour
except
and a
I
half.
understand there is a drama thing happening at 1:30. So hopefully they'll come over immediately following. So-
Yeah, there's in the drama class, there are a couple of programs that are being presented, but that should be finishing right around early release. I think the schedule is set. So right after early release, 11th grade, encourage your juniors to attend.
Dining hall.
Dining
Should
hall.
be easy. Have fun. No, thank you.
And thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
So for the seniors, we've got lots of activities amping up in the last 2 months of school. But one thing we are gonna be asking for, with our Sign Up Genius is for chaperones for grad night. And it's a kind of a pay it forward, parent. Don't have to be sacrificed because you're staying up late, but it happens. Graduation is the 22nd, which is a Friday night. And we'll need, chaperones from classes that aren't senior parents, because the kids don't wanna have their senior parents around. But, it's a whole secret evening where they leave after graduation about 9:30. Go to a dinner spot, and then the bus takes them around to other activities where we will have chaperones at each location. So it's kind of a pay your dues evening. Tanis joined us last year, she's amazing, in the middle of the night, and then we end up back here at over a senior sunrise event. So if anybody wants to stay up a little bit later, or it's the night of the 22nd into the morning of the 23rd of May. So that will be coming out soon.
When will we get that
The Sign Up Genius.
Sign Up Genius? Or do you need any assistance in making that?
Well, I asked Darcy, who did it last year,
Okay.
to send me a copy, so I didn't have to recreate.
Okay.
So that's right. So hopefully I'll have it today. or-
Okay, that would be great, because then we could also get it into the newsletter this week,
Yes.
which would be nice, I think.
But for anybody who has not done it, I recommend it. It is a very special event. And you're gonna want your children to have that experience. So it's a pay it forward kind of a thing.
I've got a question. So for the Sign Up Genius, I don't remember if you included like the part of town that the activities in. Would that be possible? I know that you don't want to give too much away for the
Yeah.
seniors, but maybe like east.
It's all
Central,
midtown.
North, okay. So,
Yeah, so it's nothing super.
Nothing random.
I know that when I did it, they offered an Uber.
Yes.
So I drove my car to the end spot.
Okay.
And then I took an Uber to the beginning spot, and then at the end of the day or whatever, I would ended up with my car, so.
Because otherwise you were on the bus with the kids,
I did
correct?
go on the bus.
Yeah.
So I went on the bus with the kids around, and then I ended up at the breakfast spot. So just so that you know.
So we wouldn't have to drive the kids so much.
No, we have a bus.
Oh, going with them in the bus.
Yes. So depending on some of it, that's what I wanted to look at how we did it last year. So depending on which shift you sign up for, you may just be going to one location, driving there, driving home, or you might be like, we've got check-in after graduation, so you check off all the names of who's getting on the bus, and then go with them to their first location, and then you can Uber back in.
And typically there have been 3 shifts, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that gives you an idea of how your night could be.
I recommend the midnight to 3 a.m. It sounds horrible, but it. I drove my car home.
Yeah, this was true. So we appreciate it.
Do we have any other, is there anybody online who has questions about anything so far? Okay. Do we have any other class reps here that, or online, that have something to share about a grade level event?
Hi, this is Anthony. I do.
Yes, Anthony.
Hi.
Hi.
So we are in the seventh grade. We're planning either a Friday evening or Saturday morning or late morning trip to Jumping Choya. And so it'll be a pop up. So parents will sign up online or however they want to do it, and we'll just all show up at the same time with the kids. I'll be there chaperoning. If anybody else wants to join me, that's fine. We don't have a specific date yet, but we're working on that. So yeah, everybody will just show up, pay their own way, and then we will probably jump for a good 2 hours.
Okay, great. So if you have a seventh grader,
Seventh grader.
right, touch base with Anthony if you're interested in that upcoming event, which still needs to be set on as far as the date goes. Yes?
Yeah, late April, early May. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, do we have anybody else grade level activities?
Looks like there might be something on chat there. Can't tell.
No, I'm good.
Okay, yeah, you don't see anything, okay. What about committee coordinator? We heard from Lori regarding the spring family dinner. Is there anything from athletics?
They've announced what the upper all sports night or whatever, I think it's the 13th maybe,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yes, sorry, I'm going through those progressions, great. So the athletic banquet, Wednesday, May 13th, science courtyard and RSVP will be going out for schools.
And that's upper school only, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And what do we have coming up for orchestra, band, piano, choir?
We're heading to Boston, it's a long way.
Okay.
April 23rd, come back at 26th.
Is that band and orchestra?
Advanced works.
Okay. And any performances coming up? I know there's usually something coming up in May.
Something 21st, so that's 28th. So the 21st is band and orchestra, 28th is choir and piano, at least according to April, at least according to our calendar.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and then they're doing something on at the church again, at St. Michael's. St. Michael's and All the Angels is the community choir, with collaboration from the Raybury School and the choir there. And there's also going to be an organist, who is going to perform there, and so it's going to be a really great event.
Thank you. Have I missed anything that is coming up that needs to be known? Anyone online? No. Do we have any questions on anything?
No questions, I have a comment.
Oh, yeah.
This is our last meeting, right?
This is our last meeting of the year.
My goodness. So one of the things that I just want to ensure that I say this year, you'll get sick of me saying it, but it used to be. I love when families come together and parents come together. From what I'm hearing about the community connections, grade level, about the different events, y'all, however we can facilitate these opportunities moving forward, please, yes, and let's figure out the details, but yes, and I want the parents to be as connected as our students are. We have only 368 students, that's not a negative thing, Judy. We have only 368 students on our campus. This is a small school community. We should be interconnected in a variety of different ways. So whether that's parent experience night, and they pick them all against one another, making sushi, or whether it's a happy hour, or we're enjoying libations and loud conversations, whatever it may be, or it goes for your children. As I continue to tell the kids, show up, show out, and let's continue to connect. Thank you for all that y'all are doing.
And thank you, Kelly and Zach, for another great year. Thank you for everything.
Oh, well, yes, thank you to the whole, I don't. All of it. I know what you meant, I appreciate that. And this year, because we had done elections last year, just to let you all know if you're not familiar, it's 2-year terms for the exec team. So, next year will be the last year for me as president. So next year, if folks are interested in the exec team, let us know, because we will be looking at where we have vacancies. So for 27, 28, you'll have a slight shift in your exec team. But because we were elected last year, we'll go forward for next year, and then we'll have elections again at the end of next year. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Is the whole exec team on the same schedule? So.
It is right now.
So I'm recommending if there's a way of doing this, if you stagger it, it's really nice to have some continuity.
Well, and here's how it works. You can do two terms. So the terms are 2 years and you can do 2 terms. So I will finish and that'll actually be the end of my second term. I'll also graduate, so I won't be here any longer. But the folks who remain can be, some of them can be elected, like Zach started with us this year. So next year will be the end of his first term. So he'll be able to continue if he so chooses, or he can move into another role. So there are options to keep people around. It won't have to be a complete turnover.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you for that suggestion. I think we can work that out. Well, so thank you. This is the last meeting of this year. I do look forward to seeing you folks at some of our upcoming events. And then we'll see you in the fall for our first general meeting again. Thank you. Oh, right. Thank you for your help. Okay. No, that's okay. Yeah.